realization is about weddings in Singapore. Jingles and I were supposed to get married next week in July, but have decided to postpone it due to the COVID restrictions. So I'm here right now instead of busy prepping for our wedding to share a little bit more about our thoughts, ideas about weddings versus marriage, and how ridiculously people can invest in weddings. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Ying Ying, and now realize this is a YouTube channel started out by my boyfriend Jingles and I. On this channel, we explore the realization about life and happiness as we pursue our goals. Okay, today's video is going to be slightly different from the previous videos, which were mostly about investing. But since wedding is an important and expensive phase of life that most of us could go through, it is certainly an important topic to talk about. I'm going to share why we are planning our wedding now and the 5 lessons that we've learned throughout the process. So why plan your wedding now? Why not wait? Wedding is going to be an expensive affair, and because of COVID, what we're used to in a typical Singaporean wedding is not the same anymore. Big banquets and large celebrations are a no-no. So precisely because of that, we decided to get married during COVID. We have always wanted to keep the occasion as small as possible. Because Jingles has this weird anxiety and do not like attention on him, we thought that a smaller wedding would definitely make us feel a bit more comfortable during the day. So if you're like us who prefer small and intimate weddings, do click the like button. The other day when we were discussing about the wedding procession, he said that he would not want to walk down the aisle. Though I'm pretty sure that it's just the bride and the father who walk down the aisle. And he was so relieved when he realized that my idea of how a wedding should be have transformed throughout the years. I used to love weddings so much that I became a wedding planner in my earlier career. And I've literally planned more than 100 weddings. It's true, and I kid you not. I used to look at weddings being something really magical, and it's a moment where you live your princess dreams, and then you and your husband live happily ever after. After going through life and so many weddings, I've become clear about what is truly the meaning of weddings and what marriage is. Reality sets in because not everyone can afford a princess-style wedding. Singapore weddings tends to be huge, about a minimum of 200, 300 or more people attending, which can be a burden for young couples, especially if they are paying for the wedding by themselves. At least for Jingles and I, we do not want to rely on our parents. There are 5 broad lessons that we have learned through the process of planning our wedding. The first one is that wedding is not just about you and your other half. It is 2 families combining into one. I'm glad that my dad is mostly considerate and we are able to have a small ceremony. Though there were some little challenges from my dad as well as some of my relatives, because we get little whispers and advice on people on what should be done and what are the cultural norms of a wedding. Some areas we need to accommodate were holding the traditional Chinese betrothal ceremony, what you call a 过大礼. Another tension that we faced was that we weren't able to invite some of our elderly and distant uncles and aunts. So our parents had to face the brunt of managing those upset people. We thought it was obvious that due to COVID, we weren't allowed to hold large weddings and people would be a little bit more understanding about that. So even though that COVID is a good excuse, not everyone is as considerate as we think. People do get hurt. Ideally, we would prefer to hold something like an elopement kind of wedding, but it is really not possible because we don't want to upset our parents and our relatives. truly important and find out what are your money downs. I love cheap thrills and I love saving money, and sometimes I can come across as a cheapskate. But often I will spend on things that really matter to me, and one example is that my wedding dress actually cost me about $100, and on the other hand, my photographer cost us about $350 per hour. You might find it odd, like maybe I should spend a little bit more on my dress, or maybe there are other photographers that are more affordable out there. The tendency of why people value certain things more than others can be understood by a concept called the money dells. Money dells is a concept by Ramit Sethi, who is a personal finance guy. He described money dells as areas that we have a natural tendency to spend money on. It is a very interesting concept that will be helpful to learn a bit more about yourselves, your partner, your family, and the people around you. Sometimes you have no idea why certain people would spend so much on an item that you might find it totally useless. According to Ramit, there are 10 common money dells: convenience, travel, health or fitness, experiences, freedom, relationships, generosity, luxury, social status, and self-improvement. In general, you will fall on a scale for each of the money dells. Money dells are different for everyone, and there is no right answer when it comes to how you want to spend your money. For example, someone who values convenience will want to spend money to grab a taxi and get to their destination, and someone who values self-improvement can spend a lot on books and courses. I have a friend who once told me that she will never ever spend on a gym membership because she thinks that exercising should be free. Me, on the other hand, values the gym experience, and it is my way of getting fit. As long as I'm paying for a gym membership, you will never see me skip a workout. I have tried exercising during the recent phase 2 heightened alert, but I didn't have the discipline to be consistent. We are both not wrong, and it is about where we choose to turn up the dial on which areas that we value. Jingles and I don't care about social status nor luxury. Also, to us, wedding is just a one-time event and not once-in-a-lifetime event. Personally, I do care about other areas such as freedom. Therefore, I would want to put my money in the form of savings for retirement, and experiences as well as travel. So in the case of our wedding, I've decided to invest in a good photographer and videographer because I'm a person who likes to look back on precious memories. Third point is that social media can be a costly game of comparison. As humans, we are often comparing the wrong things because we can most easily compare the things that we can objectively measure. We live in a world that is great at measuring and comparing external things. Somewhere along the way, we decided that we could determine someone's net worth or whoever is living a more valuable life by comparing the clothes we wear, our cars, our home, our paycheck, beauty, followers, or who can hold a much more beautiful, extravagant, and lavish wedding. This can add to the pressure to keep up with our peers and give us an illusion that we need the same things for our wedding in order to feel happy. The fourth part, it is being realistic about your finances. The scariest thing is when the money down, social status, and luxury meets social media and comparison, especially to those who cannot afford it and they think that they can. I think a good benchmark is not to spend more than 1 year of your combined savings. Even that, I do think and feel that it is slightly too much. Singapore weddings are expensive. With the COVID protocols requirements in place, hotels are going to charge more because they will need to hire more staff and invest in more equipment. Year on year, prices are increasing, and it's increasing at a 10% rate. So do you think your income and pay could increase at a 10% rate every year? I was watching this video from CNA which shows some insights about weddings in Singapore. people will go into debt in order to have their dream wedding. I feel that we shouldn't buy into the lifestyle that we cannot afford. An average 58,000 wedding can be someone's savings for at least 2 or even 3 years. I cannot comprehend why would anyone want to start their marriage in debt. And starting a marriage by being in debt is not right. Marriage is to build your lives together with the other half. It is a better way to start your wedding on the right footing. I am not going to spend the first few years of the marriage trying to clear off debts from my wedding. I do think that many of us are starting to wake up to the idea that weddings shouldn't cost too much. And also COVID did help a lot of us probably reflect on life priorities. And one more thing, I dislike the mindset expecting your guests to be paying for your wedding. So never expect your guests to pay for your dream wedding. It is not that do us apart, it is death do us apart. Understand more about the finances and affordability so that you can scale your wedding accordingly. Don't be blinded by marketing schemes, whatever you see on Instagram or Pinterest, and end up trapped in debt. Lastly, only the couple and their parents will remember the wedding day. Holding a wedding feels like putting on a show. To orchestrate a red carpet event that probably only you and maybe your parents would feel like the star of the day. While some people like it, both Jingles and I don't. Think about it. How many weddings that you have attended do you actually remember? In Singapore, most weddings are similar. We tend to put ourselves in the center of the universe. The term for it is called spotlight effect, where it is a tendency that we would overestimate how much other people notice about us, where it is a self-imposed effect that make us feel that we are being noticed, being watched, observed, and most importantly, judged more than we really are. Because we are in the centers of our universe, we believe that we are also the center of other people's universe. People get the misconception that your guests care a lot about your wedding just like you do. They don't. Except your parents. Do you really think that you need to pay so much to impress people that ultimately don't care? Planning a wedding can be stressful, and through the process, you and your partner can discover things about each other along the way. Just like marriage, wedding is also a teamwork, both in the planning as well as the finance division. Sharing the burden in rich and in poor is important. Jingles and I realized that grounding ourselves in reality and envisioning what we want for the future helps us not just to make decisions for the short term. If you agree and resonate with what we have shared so far, please remember to click the like button or share it with your peers and friends or even your other half. If not, do let us know perhaps in the comments below what we have not thought about. And it will be interesting to get a perspective on your thoughts. Initially, my next weekend plan was to be at our wedding. But since it's not happening now, please look forward for another video, which will be my monthly review on my finances. In due time, if and when we decided to hold our wedding, I would also like to share the final budget and how much we spent as well as how the day went. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.